2 years ago, Joe Biden passed a so-called bipartisan infrastructure bill out of the Congress. And one of the key elements of it that they've spent a whole lot of time celebrating and promoting and crowing about and bragging about was a plan to put in 500,000 charging stations across the country, especially in rural areas. So, you know, all you farmers out there with your electric powered pickups, you can get it charged at one of these charging stations, right? You remember people from the administration bragging about this. Here's the headline when it first came out. Biden approves network of 500,000 charging stations across 35 states. CNN couldn't get enough of it. How Biden's infrastructure funding could push more Americans into the electric vehicle revolution. This is groundbreaking. This is the man with a vision. We're finally going to shake off the chains of fossil fuel and we're going to embrace EV technology. We're finally going to be into the 21st century with our electronic vehicles. And it's Joe Biden who took us there. Here's Gina McCarthy. She's actually the White House National Climate Advisor, as you can see. The White House has a National Climate Advisor. And she bragged about it late last year. Look, they had a big show there. There's the president with that. They're all wearing masks. You got to love that because, you know, science. And there's Jennifer Granholm, you see, the Secretary of Energy. There's Pete Buttigieg, of course, the Secretary of Transportation. And she says our electric vehicle future is being made in America. Today's announcement of Tritium's first U.S. manufacturing facility to build 30,000 EV chargers. So there you go. That was last year because everyone's wearing masks, right? And they announced that they got a contract to a business called Tritium that's going to manufacture these things, right? Oh, by the way, real fast, I just want to pause here and let you know something. When you go to that factory that builds the electric vehicle charging stations and visit it, you should. It's fascinating. When you go there to the factory and turn on the lights or turn on any of the machinery used to manufacture those electric vehicle charging stations, all of the electricity comes from coal. Just so you know. You go to a wind turbine manufacturing facility in America, all the machinery in that factory powered by coal. How about the factory that makes all of the solar panels in America? Every single light in the solar panel manufacturing facility is powered by coal. But I digress just a little bit. Pete Buttigieg was so excited about his charging station.
We're also trying to prevent it from getting worse than it has to. And that's why we're focused on more sustainable infrastructure for the future. It's why we're getting those EV chargers out there. It's why we're making sure there are more excellent and clean public transit options out there. We're buying zero emission buses for cities. That means cleaner air every day and doing our part with the climate challenge. We're also trying to.
There you go. We're going to save the planet with our EV chargers. You hear that? There he was bragging about it. He's not the only one. Look at how the media gushed over this. The media could not get enough of it. They ate this propaganda up. Oh my God, we're getting our 500,000 new EV charging stations across the country. This is fantastic.
As for President Biden, right now, he is in the Motor City. He just toured the Detroit Auto Show and is about to deliver remarks on a brand new $900 million plan for electric vehicles.
President Biden touting that announcement that you talked about, $900 million in funding from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law.
President Biden detailed how his plan will create 500,000 charging stations across 35 states.
And this is sort of the colorful backdrop for him taking the opportunity today to talk about the focus of the administration in investing in electric vehicles.
A great American road trip is going to be fully electrified. Whether you're driving coast to coast along I-10 or on I-75 here in Michigan. Charging stations will be up and easy to find as gas stations are now.
There's no question that the world is going electric. The question is how we make sure that it happens fast enough, how we make sure that it's accessible to everybody and affordable.
The possibilities and potential of the road ahead.
Wow, look at that jazzy video from the Department of Transportation. They got a good budget over there, better than ours, I assure you. That Pete Buttigieg, he's such a nice guy, isn't he? It's just like your unmarried cousin that you like to hang out with. He's just nice. Or your wife's hairdresser. You know what I'm saying, right? Anyway, there you go. 500,000 charging stations, thanks to Joe Biden and the Democrats. All that money allocated, the money was allocated in the fall of 2021. Now, I'm no math major, but that's over 2 years ago. And in all those interviews, all those appearances from Pete Buttigieg, all those news packages you just saw from CNN, ABC News, NBC News, Kristen Welker was there. She moderated one of the debates, you'll remember, right? Meet the Press now, she's the host of. At no point in any of those media hits over the last 2 years, at no point as the propaganda media was promoting this and celebrating this and trumpeting this incredible achievement, at no point did anybody ask, where are the chargers? You've been talking about this for 2 years. Where are the chargers? When are they going to be built? You plan on, they keep saying 500,000. That's 500,000 chargers. That's a lot of chargers. Have you built one yet? Can you show us one of the chargers that you have built over the last 2+ years? And this brings us to today's story in Politico. Congress provided $7.5 billion for electrical vehicle chargers. Built so far, 0. They haven't built one. Not a one. Now, as you read the article, which I did, you'll learn that it's not because of the factories, it's not because of supply chain, it's not because of permits, it's not because of financing. No, they got plenty of money. No, the slowdown is the Biden administration's bureaucracy. It's the bureaucratic red tape morass of the federal government working along with state governments. And I assure you, the vast majority of the states getting the funding are led by Democrats. You saw Gretchen Whitmer there, all excited about undercutting her own manufacturing of automobiles in Detroit. This is all because of incompetence and waste and fraud. And I assure you, they're not going to build 500,000 charging stations anytime soon. And if they ever do get there, it's going to cost a lot more than $7.5 billion. They're going to come back and say, oh, we need more money. We always need more money. You know, if the market demand for electric vehicles were so great, don't you think that businesses that make electric cars would actually be investing in the chargers? That's what Elon Musk did with the Tesla superchargers. He's got a network of charging stations right now based on demand, based on where people are buying these cars. Government's just going to put these things everywhere, whether there's demand or not, just so they can say we did it. And then the things are going to sit there collecting dust. And if they do put them in a rural area or a mountainous region or a desert place that doesn't have a solid electrical infrastructure, they'll probably have a diesel-fueled backup generator for it so that you can charge your electric car with a generator fueled by diesel gas. Because that's how the government works. Not one charger has been built. Now, the only upside of all of this is that if we get a Republican in the White House and we get Republicans larger majority in the House and the Senate, maybe they can pull the funding for this thing and actually spend it on something that we need. Or even better, don't spend it at all and just lower our taxes. I'm going to let Chip Roy of Texas sort of finish this one out. Yesterday in the House of Representatives, as they were talking about the boondoggle of all this EV stuff. Basically, it's the Green New Deal without actually having to pass the Green New Deal.
The issue here is not just saying all of the above approach, as my former boss, Governor Perry, talked about in Texas. The all of the above approach is if the market is driving it. And you say, let's put this out there. But now we're saying to people that by 2032, 2/3 of automobiles must be electric vehicles. That is an astounding disregard for the well-being of the American people. An absolutely unbelievable display of hubris by government leadership, forcing people into poverty, forcing people to be unable to actually go about their lives, get jobs, be able to take care of their families with vehicles that are more expensive to maintain, may not serve their function if they're in the freezing cold in North Dakota, may not serve their function in other capacities, putting aside all the side costs, putting aside the battery materials, putting aside the child labor around the world that produces the materials for not just solar panels, batteries, and so forth. I just wonder if the gentleman could expand on the extent to which this will be destructive of the American industry, but also in favor of China and some of our competitors and adversaries around the globe. But importantly, what this means to the average American family. And
I do love that was a question, actually. You know, sometimes we tease these congressmen when they make these giant, long statements in the form of a question at a hearing. The gentleman he's questioning actually said, yeah, I can't say anything more than what you just said. You just said it all. Yes, sir, he did.